We're a lot closer than we usually are.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone to the Anandamayi Ma Satsang, Matri Satsang, monthly, every third Sunday of the month. And we meet with the idea of invoking Anandamayi Ma, feeling her presence, then hearing about her life and her teachings and seeing what she recommends for spiritual life, and also for meeting together in community, which is important. And this month is the full moon of this month was the festival of Guru Purnima, observed in Sanatana Dharma, where we remember the Guru. And so we think of Ma also in that way. The Guru is God coming to each of us in the very, very specific and personal way to awaken us, to guide us to the path of truth and to the revelation of our true self. And so we think of Ma in that way also. Ma would sometimes say, and it was confusion to people, she would say, this body is no one's Guru. Very interesting. And if you look at the history of her life, throughout her life, people came to her and wanted to be initiated into what was her lineage. And she would always have someone else do it. First she had Baiji or her husband Bolanat, who was a wonderful saint, give the Diksha, and she would just be there. So people felt it came through them, from Ma through them. When Bolanat left his body, then Ma's mother, Mokshada Sundari, took sannyas and became Swami Muktananda Giri, and she was a saint from birth. I mean, we've talked about her before. We should always remember and venerate who we call Didi Ma, Ma's mother, who was like a foundational support in Ma's whole manifestation and lineage. We have her picture is there. And so for many years, Didi Ma gave Diksha. She had hundreds of disciples.
It's a beautiful thing.
So beautiful,
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful saint. And really, like I say, one of the foundational pillars of Ma's whole manifestation. And then Didi Ma passed away in 1970. And then Ma came up with a very unique way, something miraculously manifested, where she herself gave Diksha. From that time to the end of her life, so I personally received Diksha from Ma's own hands. Swami Bhaskar Nanaji was there and translating and assisted, but Ma did everything. So then Ma did give Diksha. So what does it mean when she said this body is no one's Guru? I was perplexed by that for many years, but then I read something Ramana Maharshi said, Ramana Maharshi was this great South Indian mystic who was also in a state of total unity of consciousness. And he said, for the jnani is one who knows God, who is in this unitive state. For the jnani, there can be no question of guru and disciple, because the jnani only has perception of the self only. So they can never say, I am the guru, I'm teaching you, you're my disciple. So from the jnani's viewpoint, there's no guru and disciple. But then from our viewpoint, we definitely, if we make ourselves disciple, these great ones become gurus. Like Ramana Maharshi had many people that considered him guru. Ma has now, throughout the world, many people who consider her a guru. So our job is to make ourselves a disciple, and don't worry, Ma is there as the guru. So we're kind of thinking of that more this meeting of Ma as the guru, as the teacher.
So how do we make ourselves a disciple?
That's what we're talking about. That's a good question. How do we make ourselves a disciple? That's one of the subjects of these satsangs is, what does Ma ask of us, and what does Ma recommend to make ourselves worthy? We can't never be worthy, but we make ourselves capable to receive her grace. Good. So like I say, one of our sorry, I'm getting a thing on the bottom of the screen I want to take off. One of our reasons for having this satsang is to have interaction between ourselves and have support with each other, have community. And even though we're online in different parts of the world, we want to make sure that we're all together in this. We're all Ma's children. So first of all, if you're here for the first time or watching the recording, my name is Mangalananda, and I received Diksha from Ma in 1973, and I've been living basically in her lineage ever since. I traveled with her in 73, 74, and I've been with her great disciples living in her ashrams both here and in India ever since. This is my wife, Gloria.
Thank you. And I'm also a devotee of Ma Anandamayi.
Yes.
And I'm excited to be together with everyone.
And she's a good example of how Ma had very few people of all the people who came to Ma, most people had other gurus. Only a few people had Ma as the guru itself. Gloria has a wonderful guru, Eknath Ishwaran, but she also this absolutely no problem being with Ma and having another guru. That the gurus would send the disciples to Ma to have darshan because she's the universal mother. That's the thing. So she takes everyone under her wings, and her teachings fit with any teaching. It's really not just Sanatana Dharma, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. All these people came to Ma, and her universality was unique in its broadness. So that's what we need today. We need more things bringing us together rather than separating us. My co-host, of course, is Pragya Hallstrom, who is the author of both Mother of Bliss and the editor of this two new volumes, which we'll read from, Gospel of Sri Anandamayi Ma, and she is the host of our Ma Anandamayi Ashram and Temple in Amherst, Massachusetts. So Pragya, will you say hello?
Jema, everyone. So great to be here with you today.
So Pragya will be reading later from her book. And so now our technical co-host is Saraswati. So Saraswati, will you introduce yourself, and then we'll have everyone. Why don't you just explain how we'll do it? How we'll see. We want to see everyone and introduce everyone.
That's right. I love that everyone's camera is on. I think this is a first for that. I love it. It really makes a difference. So I appreciate it. I'm Saraswati and I am in Freedom, Maine. And it will be 2 years since I received Diksha in Ma's lineage in November 15th. So that's exciting. We'll go down the line here. Katya.
When she calls on you, please just unmute yourself and just say your name and where you're from. Later on, we'll have open session where we can share things. But now, since we have people, we want to just see everyone and say hello. So, Katya.
So, a big hello from Portugal to all of you. Very
good.
Thank
Always
you,
to see you, Katya.
Jema.
And a big hello
Yes.
back.
Yeah, big hello back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
And definitely tell us where you're from. Hello, Herrings. Can you say hi and happy anniversary?
Thank you. Yeah, so we live in Williamsburg, Virginia. And yeah, we're very happy to be here and to have this community. And I have felt Ma this week several mornings when I woke up within the first 5 minutes that I knew she was there. And so I really feel, touched. She's real to me.
Wow.
It's interesting. She never came to United States, I mean,
time and space time and space don't affect Ma. She's beyond all of those. She can be anywhere. She is everywhere at all times. Yeah. Wonderful. And I love the fact I've met David and Linda before. I've met some of you in person in my travels, and so we more and more we're interconnecting, and I love to see. It's so wonderful to see familiar faces every month, and also new faces when people come. So Jema, David, and Linda.
Jema. Thank you, Jema.
Jema. Greg, hello, Greg.
Hello, J-Ma, everybody. I live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, just outside of Albuquerque.
Good to see you, Greg. Very good to see you, Jema.
Jema. And Jacques. Jema.
From Montreal, Jema.
Good to see you, Jacques. I'm glad you're happy you're joining us today.
Thank you.
Jema. Hello, Kathleen.
Later in our session, we'll have a sharing session. If there's anything you'd like to share about, how you came to Ma or anything, we'd love to hear from you.
Go ahead, Kathleen. We'd love to hear from you.
Jema from Northwestern New Jersey. Happy to be here.
Jema, Kathleen. Good to see you.
Jema.
Hello, Molly. Jema.
Jema, Molly from Long Island. Thank you.
Jema, Molly. Always happy
Molly.
to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jema, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. So nice to see you all.
Where are you located, Chris?
I I come from Northern California, um, Humboldt County,
That's right. You're just a little bit
um,
north of us. Yeah.
a little lagoon just north of Eureka.
Beautiful. Way up north of us, actually. A couple hours. Good. Welcome.
Yanaba, Jema.
Jema from Hilo, Hawaii.
Oh, good to see you, Yana. We haven't seen you for a while. You've been traveling and things.
And Jema, Michael.
Hi, Jema, Michael from Northern California, Sebastopol, not far from Gloria and Mangalananda.
Good to see you, Michael. Yeah, he's a neighbor, so we get to see each other occasionally. Yeah. Very, very good. And I saw your email about your new studio too. Congratulations on that.
Website, yeah, thank
Website.
you.
Yeah. Good, good. Michael's an artist, very good artist.
And that's it, Mangalananda.
Okay, a small group today, but we'll have more people coming on the. Someone else just came. Oh, Janet, here. We'll say hello to them. Janet and David, you there? You're just in time for introductions.
Yes, yes, we are here. We joined another link, sorry.
Good to see you.
Okay, good to
Just in
see
time to
you.
say hello. And
Hello,
you
hello.
tell us where you're from.
We're from Florida.
Very good. So we have both. We don't have any.
Hope you're
well, we
feeling
have
better. Hope you're
a
feeling
little bit.
better.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from a concussion.
Yeah.
I did a big kirtan last night, and it was a little bit much. But anyway, I'm still alive. So we have Canada and different parts of America represented. No one from abroad today.
What about
Okay.
Katya?
Oh, Katya, of course, in Portugal. Katya's so much with us, I can't remember.
I know exactly. We should have this.
Okay, well, let's start as we always do with Ma's words of assurance. That we know Ma is with us always. And all these things we read are, first of all, to try to, we can't know Ma in the sense that, she's infinite. But the more we just familiarize ourselves with her lives, with her teachings, the things she said, the things people have said about her, how she interacts with the world and with humans, the more we just feel familiar with her, like getting to know her better. She's, like I've mentioned many times, all devotees who saw Ma in person, we all had the experience of, first of all, just being awed by the fact of someone who's so majestic with no ego, kind of like an empty screen in front of us, but majestic. At the same time, we all felt this incredible familiarity, just like, oh, here, we're seeing her at last after so long. This instant soul recognition. So the soul knows her as its own mother, as its own higher manifestation. But the more we can familiarize ourselves with her, the more familiar she'll become, and the more we just relate to her more and more. We're opening, because she's always there to relate to us, but what we're doing is we're opening ourselves to relate to her, to allow her to come into our life. So it's many it's on our side. We're trying to just get to know her better. So Ma says, as I always read, this is Ma's own words, saying, I am ever with each one of you, wherever you happen to be. But your vision is tied down to worldly matters, and you have little time to direct your eyes to this body in your thoughts and actions. What can I do? That's why we have Matu Satsang, to take time to remember her. But Ma continues, but know it for certain that whatever you do in thought and deed, whether you are near or in distant lands, never escapes my loving attention. Just as at a flash of torchlight your faces gleam forth in their bold outlines, all your facial expressions appear in my mind when you meditate on me or talk about me or sit down to pray to me. So Ma is aware of us, and as I always like to say and never tire of saying, Ma said many times, you can't even think of this body, of which she always referred to herself usually as this body. You can't even think of this body unless I first think of you. So she's thought of us, and that means we've had her grace. She's called all of us to be here. She herself has called us. So how do we respond? That's our question. She says, solely for you is indeed everything that this body says or does. Its actions, movements, its going hither and thither. Whatever is done for your sake to this body at any time, it is you who cause it to happen. So see, our desire brought her into birth. She said that many times. And our desire and needs drew her for all that traveling she did over 50 years. And even now, our desires and needs cause her to manifest to us. So we have to work on our pure desire to be with her and to see her. And this again, Ma's own words, but she's speaking third person. In all your activities, in your sadhana, Ma is with you. With perfect repose, sit still, thinking, in the midst of emptiness, Ma is with me. This will give you ananda, bliss. Whether you meditate quietly or laying down, feel Ma is with me at every single moment. And I want to read some of what other people have also said about Ma, because that's important too. I like reading what great saints said about Ma, because they had the vision to see clearly, more clearly than we did, of who Ma was. So I think many people may know the name of Swami Chidananda, and not the current one that is living in Rishikesh, but Swami Chidananda was the successor of the great master Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh, who started the Divine Life Society, and whose disciples have come and brought yoga to the West. Swami Satchidananda, Swami Vishnudevananda, Swami, I can't remember, he had many wonderful disciples. But Swami Shivananda was this great master, and Swami Chidananda, the Guru is not there to give compliments. The Guru is there to correct and bring on. So when the Guru gives you a compliment, it's pretty amazing. Swami Shivananda did not give compliments to people, but he himself said of his own disciple at the last of his life, he said, "This is a realized being," pointing to Swami Chidananda. The Guru himself said that. So Swami Chidananda was considered one of the greatest yogis of India. And he ran the Divine Life Society for many years. He just passed away in early 2000s. He came to America. He had many disciples here. Universally respected and revered. I met him several times, both at Shivananda Ashram back in the 70s and at different events with Ma, because he was always come and be with Ma. He adored Ma. Wherever he came to Ma, even if it was on a railroad platform, if you met Ma on a railroad platform, right there in public, he would throw himself on the ground fully, Dandavat Pranam at Ma's feet, and just say, "Ma, Ma, Ma, Ma." She'd say, "Baba, what are you doing? Get up." And he, okay, so let's a little bit of what, so this is a person with divine vision. So there's kind of synopsis of some of the things he said about Ma. Swami Chidananda frequently spoke of Anandamayi Ma, describing her as a being of pure consciousness and bliss. And quote, this is interesting, he described Ma as a luminous mass of dazzling bliss consciousness. That's amazing. See, he had the vision. I once talked to a yogi in India, and I said, "What do you see when you look at Ma?" He said, "What I see is blinding infinite light, which is slightly shielded by the appearance of a body, which he just put there just to keep from blinding us." That's the way the yogis saw Ma. So this is go on. So Swami Chidananda emphasized that she was not merely an individual, but a manifestation of the divine existing on a level of consciousness beyond ordinary human perception. That's putting it mildly. He often described her as being, quote, not at all aware, unquote, of her physical body or the world in the way a normal person would be, but rather existing in a state of timeless eternity. That's such a beautiful description. Because Ma was, if you look at her photos, you can see she's always just in this completely timeless state, looking at infinity. And she moved in the world, and she reacted to people. She did things, but she was always like this. Okay, he goes on. Here is a more detailed look at Swami Chidananda's perspective on Anandamayi Ma. 1. Swami Chidananda highlighted that Anandamayi Ma was not an individual with a limited awareness, but rather a presence of pure consciousness and bliss. He felt that when he met her, he wasn't encountering an ordinary person, but a divine being. 2. He noted that while her actions seemed guided by divine will, she also possessed a remarkable practicality and groundedness in the world. She wasn't just, if you read Autobiography of a Yogi, he had a wonderful interaction with Ma, but you get a little bit wrong impression that she was just kind of drifting off and never aware. Ma was very practical. Like I saw with my own eyes when there was a festival going on. Ma would be in the midst of everything, directing what to cook, where people should sit, just right there. And then 5 minutes later, she'd be just off in samadhi. So she went in and out. She was very practical then. She was very. You could relate to her, speak to her, and she was very approachable also. Let's continue with Swami Chidananda. Swami Chidananda believed Ma's purpose was to awaken the inner spirit of humanity and inspire a spiritual wave to elevate mankind. Couldn't be better put. He emphasized her core message that God is the ultimate reality and the purpose of human life is to realize and experience God. Meeting Anandamayi Ma. Swami Chidananda described his experiences with Ma, noting that she was often in a state of deep spiritual absorption, even when appearing outwardly normal. He observed her entering higher spiritual states when devotional names of God were chanted. See, he could perceive where Ma was. We kind of just saw her body, but he could see her inner being. He drew parallels between Anandamayi Ma and Ramana Maharshi, suggesting that both exemplified a state of constant self-awareness and connection to the divine, even amidst worldly activities. So that's what's wonderful. I know about Ma going in and out of samadhi. I would always try to get the satsangs early, the years I traveled with Ma, and so I could sit right next to where Ma was, because they'd have a little charpai where Ma would come out and sit on. And I always try to get as close as possible. I could sit and just kind of look up at Ma like that. And I noticed, I remember this one time in particular, I was watching Ma, and somebody was singing kirtan or something, and Ma would just kind of sit there in herself frequently. Most of her satsangs were silent. Sometimes people would ask questions, and sometimes she would speak at length. But usually we would just sit with Ma. And if I was closer, I could see her eyes, and she'd be looking out in front of her like that. And I could tell, first her eyes would focus, she'd be seeing, and then her eyes would just go back like this, and she would be in samadhi. So I could sit and watch her kind of going in and out of samadhi. It was incredible. And the only other person I've ever saw do that was a wonderful saint we had in Omkareshwar called Barfani Datta, who was over 300 years old. This has been a testimony of that. I can quote examples. I can quote proof. But anyway, he was a wonderful saint. Whenever he came to visit, we'd bring all the school children, and we'd all sit in his presence, and he blessed everybody. And I was sitting near him, and I watched him doing the same thing. He would sit and watch, and then his eyes would go like that. Then he would. It's not something you could fake. So having seen Ma do it, I recognize it in him also. So let's. Katya is not able to sing with us today, so we always like to have a short break, and we're contacting Ma through our intellect and through our heart, but let's contact her through music, through opening our heart to her, through singing the simple kirtan we always start with, which says, Om Ma Sharanam. Sharanam means a place of refuge. That Ma is our refuge, our strength, the stability of our life and our prana. She is everything to us. And our ashram in India is called Ma Sharanam Ashram. So we sing this song. So Om Ma Sharanam. 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 Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma,
Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam.
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam.
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om
Om
Sharanam,
Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om
Sharanam, Om
Sharanam, Om
Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om
Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om
Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Sharanam, Om
Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om
Om Sharanam, Om
Om Sharanam, Om
Om Sharanam, Om
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam,
Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam.
Together one last time. Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam, Om Sharanam. So let's sit for a moment and just tune into Ma's presence. Okay, let's excuse me. Let me read a few things from Ma's life. Just some things, again, to help us have faith in Ma's power and ability to awaken us and to guide us inwardly. In the 1930s, while Anandamayi Ma was residing in Dehradun, a Bengali man in his early 30s was brought to her by relatives. He had been a brilliant scholar, but suddenly became mentally disturbed, talking to invisible beings, suffering burning sensations, and unable to eat food prepared by anyone in the house. He had consulted doctors and priests. Some said it was mental illness, others diagnosed it as black magic or a spirit attack. Excuse me.
Want me to read? sorry.
No,
Look at
let
my
me read.
glasses.
I can read. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm recovering from a head injury and concussion. I get a little weird. Some said it was mental illness. Others diagnosed it as black magic or a spirit attack. Eventually, he began screaming that someone had buried his soul beneath the earth. What happens in Ma's presence? The family brought him to Anandamayi Ma during one of her silent satsangs, as we were speaking about. As soon as he entered the room, he began trembling and muttering in a strange language. Ma looked at him quietly, with no mantras, no instructions. Within minutes, he fell into a deep sleep at her feet. She didn't say anything. She didn't go, "Oh, be gone." She just looked at him, He awoke 2 hours later, calm and completely normal, confused about how he had arrived there. When the devotees asked Ma what had happened, she smiled and said in Bengali, "Ora jeta byata dite chilo, da kintu aj ami khai nilam." It means, what they intended to cause him, I've taken it into myself. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was, because it is possible to, there are disincarnate spirits who can influence us, and there is such a thing as possession, as demonic possession. So then Ma is testifying this, that she took it into herself. Listen, let's see what Ma said again. Ma said, "What they intended to cause him, I have taken into myself." Later, when Ma was found sitting in silence Ma was found sitting in silence with closed eyes for several hours, perspiring heavily, and her body burning with fever, which left by nightfall. And Ma did this. Let me finish this. We'll go on. The man never had another episode. He later became a teacher in Varanasi and would return every year to Anandamayi Ma's ashram to simply offer flowers and touch her feet, saying, "No ritual, no fight. She just looked and darkness ended." So it's amazing. But Ma many times would take on illnesses from other people. She herself said she had no karma. She came without, this body was not brought by karma as ours is. So she had no karma to suffer. We go through different things like illnesses and traumatic things that happen because of our karma coming to us. Ma had none of this. So logically, she would have just lived her long life, but she was almost always in some kind of physical malady, illness and this and that. And she always said, it's because I take on these things that will be too much for the people who are with me. That it helps them progress in their spiritual life. So she took things on, and it was almost always when she had a disease of some kind that she was taking on, she would suffer with it, and then usually she would manifest a particular yoga asana. She would go into this particular pose, and it would just leave, and then she'd be fine. So very interesting thing about Ma. Let's read something else. In 1942, a yogi sadhak named Hariharananda, a disciple of multiple teachers including Ramana Maharshi, came to meet Anandamayi Ma in Varanasi, seeking clarity on a recurring vision. He saw himself dying but not reaching liberation. During the darshan, Ma looked at him deeply and after a long pause said, "You will leave your body on the 5th night after this full moon, when the wind changes direction. But the soul will rise freely, not because of your tapasya, but because the knot in the heart has been loosened." We could think about that for a long time. There's a lot of content in there. She saw when he would leave his body, and she saw his yogic state and what will happen. She advised him to spend the coming days in prayer and silence, not to speak of death to anyone, but to chant Ramakrishna Hari continuously. She asked him to keep a lamp lit at the east window of his room on the final night. He followed all these instructions, thank God. Exactly on the 5th night after the full moon, during the Brahma Muhurta, that's at 4 o'clock in the morning, a gentle breeze, a gentle wind blew through the east-facing window, just as Ma said. The lamp flickered, and Hariharananda passed away in meditation, eyes closed, spine upright. Swami Atmananda, who was staying nearby, confirmed that the body did not release any odor after death, one of the signs in yogic tradition indicating the soul's liberation, mukti. Ma, upon hearing the news, said simply, "When one walks with surrender, the door is open from the other side." Now let's think about that. Let's think about that a lot. So this whole thing shows how Ma didn't extend his life because it was his karma, no problem. Death is not a big deal on one level. As it says in the Gita, we're unmanifest for a while, we're manifest for a while, and then unmanifest again. And Krishna says, what is there to grieve about? But let's look at this. So Ma saw this, guided him through it, and he kept having a dream. He would pass away before but he wouldn't be liberated. But Ma gave him that grace. And let's think of what she says. When one walks with surrender, the door is open from the other side. So when we are surrendered to God, and specifically to Ma, she's there to open that door. You know, we try to open it through our sadhana, and we try to make as much progress as we can. But when we're in a state of surrender, sharanagata. See again, this word sharanam. My sharanam is not just refuge, but it's our giving up our separateness to Ma, and surrendering to Ma, and surrendering our spiritual life to Ma, asking her to guide it, putting it in her hands, surrendering the fruits of our daily meditation to Ma. Then she's there, and she'll just open that door up. So we don't in one sense deserve it. We're not worthy of it, but it's her grace and love just opens up the door, and we can go through. So I think that's a very important point. I've got more I can read, but we'll go on. Okay, so let's go on to Pragya's reading, but I think we do a kirtan first, don't we?
Do we want anyone to comment on them?
What?
Do we want anybody to comment on them?
Well, we'll open it up later. Right now, we'll just get the readings done. So we won't have just too much talking. Let's do another kirtan. And since it's Guru Purnima week, or I'll sing a thing that we sing in Ma's ashrams to the Guru. And I want to share the screen. And Gabriel isn't here today, but we're gonna look at Ma gives her darshan these days through her photos. Her photos are so wonderful. And our friend Gabriel, who is usually here, made a nice video of just some compilation of some of Ma's photos. So I'm going to try to share the screen and do that. And we're going to hope it's on YouTube, so we're going to hope it doesn't throw an advertisement in the middle. If it does, we'll have to just stop and fix it. And this kirtan we sing, please sing with us while muted, and we say, Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. We take a refuge in the Guru. Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Namo. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Shri Guru Sharanam Mama. Namo Ma Sharanam Mama Namo Namo Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Namo Namo Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Namo Namo Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Namo Namo Shri Ma Sharanam Namo 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 Shri Ma Sharanam Mama Namo Namo Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai.
Coming up, Jonathan ventures into Florida caves in the name of science, learning how the aquifer works. Welcome to Jonathan Bird's Blue World.
Okay, so I gotta get back to the blue world. Let's try this. Almost got it, just a second.
For many divers, cave diving is a passion.
And we know one.
I know, this is one of my weaknesses. I love scuba diving. I watch Jonathan Bird. Okay. Sorry, we kind of spoiled the atmosphere there. Okay, Pragya, will you explain?
Take it away.
Yeah, take it away. Explain your book, and let's get us back on track.
Actually, this happens when we do Tuesday night satsang as well, and I always see it as like just like the intervention of samsara. It's like here we are in this blissful state, listening to Swami Guru Sharan, and all of a sudden there's some stupid ad on YouTube, and it kind of reminds. I mean, the contrast is so great. I think it's in Ma's instruction, you know.
Showing, I think to be sadhaks in Kali Yuga, and especially in the West, with all the distractions we have, we get a little bit of more credit, you know, because we have so many distractions in society. Yes.
Oh, crazy. Okay, so we're going to read today from Volume 2 of the Gospel of Sri Anandamayi Ma, and this is from tape number 61. Took place at the Sanyam Saptaha in Kanpur, November 1975. Were you there? Were you there, Acharya Ji?
No, I was with her in 73, 74. It was probably shortly after I left India,
Okay.
so I missed that.
Okay. How about you, Arpita? Were you there then? 75? No.
73 and then 76. No, not 75.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've chosen this selection today. I usually just open the book, and I did, to see what Ma wants us to read. But in particular, I'm sort of revealing here that in this sort of conversation that Ma's going to have about God and the question of action or no action, it appears many places in the course of the 2 volumes. And every time it happens, I get a little bit confused about, it almost seems like a paradox, what Ma is saying. So I thought I'd read it so we could all discuss it together, and maybe it'll get clearer for me and everyone else. Sri Ma, once there is a proper awakening, you will have no misery or pain. In every form, it is He alone. He is in the form of punishment. He is in the form of salvation. In every form we shall see only Him. Until you reach that state, the questions will linger on in you. If you do not reach that state, you will not have any solution. But remember, God is a karta, non-doing. He does not do anything. He is not the doer. To whom should He do anything? It is only He and no one else. Look, when your tongue is bitten by your teeth, do you go punish your teeth? Do you go to teach them a lesson? No. Why? Because by hurting your teeth, you will hurt yourself, and then you will have double pain. What do? You try to save the tongue from the teeth. So God has created this world for Himself to play and sport. Would He give punishment to Himself? It is all created from His imagination. Therefore, when you think or imagine only him. Always think only of attaining that God. Always think of the ways to achieve him. Then what will happen? All of your questions will be answered automatically, and then you will travel on the path of Paramartha, the supreme goal. You have said that everything is done by God, but a state comes when you see that God neither does nor makes anyone do anything. That is why this body said, do Bhagavat Kriya, actions performed for God. When you do Bhagavat Kriya, the veil of ignorance will be removed. Then the I that is everywhere and in everyone will become visible to you. Until that one becomes visible, these doubts, such as, why did it happen this way? Why does God do that? Why doesn't he do this? Will linger because all of the things will remain as long as ignorance exists. You will not even understand anything properly until you get to that state. By the time one question is solved, another one comes up. When that state comes, you will save what is to be saved and throw away the rest. So in this kingdom of God, this throwing away, holding, killing, and saving, everything goes on within the self. Killer, saver, protector, creator, everything is he alone. He is the creator, but he himself is never created. That is why he is imperishable. He is eternal. In every form, it is he alone. Therefore, this body says, if a person leads a regular, disciplined life, if he follows the way shown by his guru, he will automatically have the solutions for all his questions. Then he will see, oh, God does not do a thing. What I wished for was accomplished. I have been created by him. He is there, but to say that it is he who does everything is totally wrong. You rightly asked, it is all only Parabrahma Paramatma, and he is immortal. Then how is it right to say that the Atma, the self, dies? There is no question of perishing. Killing, dying, saving, protecting, punishing, all of these things go on as long as the self remains in Manoraja, the kingdom of the mind, as long as the attitudes of mine and yours are there. Until you get to the state in which everything is one, you will not become without doubt. You have asked, why is that so? The question itself is the answer. These questions trouble you until you reach that stage. It is good to have questions. No questions, no solutions, and you can move ahead only through the solutions. It is essential that you have doubts to go beyond doubts. It is good to have questions to go beyond questions. Questions and answers. It is also only his arrangement. At every stage, there are some questions. As long as you are full of actions, he performs them, he gives everything. He is full of grace. But once you reach that state, you will see that there are no questions, no action. Hold on. You'll see that there are no questions, no actions, no doing, nothing. It is he and he alone. Therefore, you will see that no one does anything for anyone. No one gives anything to anyone. No one takes anything from anyone. He himself is sporting. Jai Ma. Holy moly, that's really a reading, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, what are some of your thoughts? I mean, there's so much content.
Well,
But what are some of your thoughts?
honestly, I think that what happens when I read this is I think of the Gita and I think of, us getting to the point where we say, I am not the doer. And the conclusion from that is God is the doer. And here's Ma saying, no, God does nothing. There is nothing at some level. At the level of unity awareness and of the one, there is no action at all. So it feels like sort of a paradox. And yeah, I just I'd love to hear your take on it, Mangalanandaji.
Well, it is true. The mind can't comprehend these states of total unity. What makes me think it is confusing because you do say, you hear in the yogic tradition, they say, you're not the guru, God is the doer, or the Atma is the guru, the doer. But also in the Gita it says the one who is wise, who has attained wisdom, sees that all action is just the interaction of the gunas of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Whichever one is in predominance makes this thing happen, makes this thing happen. So, on one level, I guess you could think of it as our desires and our karma are unfolding, and the elements of nature are just interacting to cause all this interaction to happen. And both the self, the real self, and God, which are one and the same, are just observing it all. Yeah, so who is acting? It is confusing, but yeah, it's confusing. The mind can't really understand.
Yeah, I mean, there's one quote that I read recently from Ma. It was kind of a short meme that someone had put on next to a beautiful picture, and Ma was quoted as saying, "You will be free when you realize that nothing has happened."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love the fact in the yoga tradition, we're not talking about dogma and theology. You know, you don't explain things through theology. Ma always says the scriptures are just railroad timetables of how you're supposed to go. You know, the guidance, but you have to experience. It's all talked about how if it's not directly experiential, it's worthless. And that's the Eastern mind, the Eastern approach, that we have to experience it for ourselves. So she says, you're going to have questions as long as you don't get, you know, as long as you're not in that direct experience of God. So she's encouraging us to go into that direct experience. But it is interesting to think about it, isn't it? Like, who is the doer? Like right now, who's speaking? Who's moving these hands? On one level, you know, you can have the experience of you're just the consciousness observing it all happen. So I guess it is the elements of nature, our destiny unfolding, because our karma will unfold. You know, we have a, who knows? We're told that we have a little bit of free will in just how we respond to things, but you know, these things that are going to happen are going to happen, and it is God's will. It is, and also you think of it as the one possible way that just occurred to me to think of it is that the Divine Mother is herself. You know, when God manifests creation, He keeps the lower part of this platform as Purusha or Shiva, of just unmoving consciousness, observing everything, and then the movement of creation itself is the Divine Mother. All the light and power and sound of creation that we're seeing, everything around us, is her energy and movement. So one way you could think of it is the Divine Mother is the only one moving. And, you know,
That's interesting. Yeah, the Shiva Shakti kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sri Ramakrishna said, Brahman is unmoving. As soon as Brahman moves, it becomes Prakriti. It becomes the Divine Mother. It becomes Shakti. So they're one and the same, but Brahman is unmoving, Shakti is moving. So in one sense, you could think the Divine Mother is the one only doer, in the sense that she's moving, she's interacting with things, she's making our karma unfold. And one level, we're just kind of watching it happen, and experiencing.
I like that. You know, there's a quote that I came across this week. Have you heard of a great saint who lived sort of in the same period of Ma's time, and they were friends. They saw each other, loved each other. His name was Sita Ramdas Om Karnat. Yeah,
Talks about him. Yeah.
Interesting. There was a quote I forgot to read. Okay,
well, I'm about to read it. I think I'm
thought.
about to read it.
Okay, let's see.
Mother is not far from you.
That's so funny, Pragya.
And
look at this.
Janet
I had this
also read this week.
exact thing to read. And you,
okay.
So please read it. Yeah.
We could read it together. No, Mother is not far from you. She ever resides in the innermost recess of your heart. Mother is the eye of your eyes, the ear of your ears, the word of your words, and the life of your life. Mother envelops this entire universe and exists inside and outside every animate and inanimate object. In her nirguna state, she is your father. In her saguna state, that is with qualities, with form, she is your mother. You are the darling of that mother. Then why are you crying?
Wonderful. It's so funny. We both came across the same quote.
Well, wait, and Janet also, right, Janet? Yes. So 3 of us this week came across this.
See, if this isn't Ma's will, what is it? Yeah.
It is. So this can be our dharana, our contemplation for the week, maybe.
Exactly. I think it's a good point. Yeah. And I was going to read it after Swami Chidananda. I was going to read about what the saints said about Ma. Sita Ramdas Om Karnat was this amazing, amazing, wonderful saint. who he lived almost the same years as Ma. He was born and left almost in the same years. He has like 42 ashrams in India. And he had one of his ashrams that's right down the road from us in Omkareshwar, where I lived. I used to frequently visit there and meditate in the cave he used to meditate in. And I met many of his disciples. I even met his successor, who actually asked me to come down. He heard I was living there, the one Westerner in the area. He invited me for chai one time, and we sat and talked. But Sitaram Das Omkarnath was this incredible saint. He was a Bengali. He had this big, huge jata, the matted hair on his head. He looked like somebody out of the Puranas, and he absolutely adored Ma. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him in person. He never came at the time I was with Ma. But I know several people who were there with Ma when he would come and visit, and they told me this directly. They said they were like two sweethearts. They would come and they would just sit next to each other and hold hands and just be lost in God, like this, And then Ma would say, "Baba, say something," and he would say, "Ma, I know only the name." So she would say, "Yes, talk about the name." So he would start talking about the divine names of God. And he would talk, and he would go into samadhi and sit there for a long time and just wait, then talk a little more and go into samadhi. He was an incredible saint. And just to see them together must have been amazing, because he would always have people singing Maha Mantra around him. So when he came, he'd have about 6 or 8 people there, would be going Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So whenever he moved, the people were just singing around him like that. Just an incredible, wonderful, wonderful thing. When you see his face, it was just so beautiful. His face looked like a young boy, but he had this long beard and a long jata.
There's a picture of him in Hazra Nai Khan's book. It's so beautiful. I'll show you.
Did you visit the ashram there down the road?
We went together.
You've come there, yeah. And Swami Guru Sharan and I used to go there and do kirtan with. They would always do a big for the graduation of our students. They would have a big thing where they invite the whole school and feed us, and we'd all sit there and we'd do kirtan with them. And it was absolutely wonderful.
Well, don't you feel that Ma wanted us to talk about him today and hear that quote?
Yes.
Why don't you read it one more time? Read it.
You read it once. I'll read it. Maybe Janice should read it. So he says, this is him talking about Ma herself, not about the Divine Mother in general, but about Anandamayi Ma. Mm-hmm. He says, Mother is not far from you. She ever resides in the innermost recesses of your heart. Mother is the eye of your eyes, the ear of your ears, the word of your words, and the life of your life. Mother envelops the entire universe and exists inside and outside every animate and inanimate object. In her nirguna state, she is your father. In her saguna state, she is your mother. You are the darling of that mother. Then why are you crying? You have a picture of him there?
Yeah, he looks kind of old.
This is not a very good picture at all. I don't think you can even see it.
I had a picture of the two of them, but I don't think I can bring it up that quickly.
Look on Sitaram Das Omkarnath. He's no doubt all over the internet, because he has his ashrams are still very active to this day in their lineage. Very great yogi. He was interesting. He would start people with Maha Mantra. He would have them sing kirtan, and then when they worked at that for a long time, he would give them one particular type of mantra, then later he'd give them another type of mantra. He was a great yogi. He had a wonderful way of revealing the spiritual path to people. Very, very profound. Mothers, we think of it. We are the darling of that mother. So why do we?
I know.
Well, let's open it up. Does anyone else have any thoughts about these things we've been talking about and reading? And first, let's talk about that. Then we can talk about just sharing anything related to Anandamayi Ma. Michael, you had something.
Yeah. Well, the last quote was on Facebook. I saw it there, so maybe some of you saw it there too. And it was amazing to see that. And thank you, Pragna, for that beautiful reading. What struck me at the end was when she said that he's sporting. He's not doing, but he's sporting. She didn't quite say it like that, but I just thought, well, what is the difference when those two words? He's not doing, yet he's sporting. I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting to think about.
It really is interesting.
Yeah, this word lila means that God, Ma says it many times, God created the world in lila and sport and joy. There's a beautiful quote in one of the Devi Shastras, I forget which one it is, one of the scriptures related to the Divine Mother, where it says, the ancient eternal mother sometimes comes out to see her creation and guide it, sometimes to be with her devotees, and sometimes just to play. Yeah, thank you, Michael. What do you think? What do you think about those two words? It's an interesting idea.
I just don't, it's almost, it's like a paradox, like Pragna was saying, you can't think through it. It's beyond the mind. I don't know.
Many
But
many spiritual truths in all traditions have these infinite paradoxes. Like
I always thought that yeah, the divine is the doer, but this is saying no. There's no doing.
Interesting, isn't it? It's something we can just contemplate. Maybe we'll come up with a revelation. Again, these answers don't come through intellectual concepts. We won't think, oh, it's because of this. It comes through some inner experience, some inner revelation of the truth, where you see it, but you can't put it into words. I've had that. I think we've all had experiences like that before. It's something beyond the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michael. Let's all think about that this week. Anybody else have anything? We'd love to hear. We want to stay on the subject of Ma, her teachings, her life, how she affects us. Anyone have any ideas about just what's going on? Or
I do. I'd love to share something.
Please.
Hi, I wasn't here at the beginning. Jai Ma, everyone. I'm Carla. As years go by, I just feel so much like everything is unfolding. All we have to do is try to make something happen that's not meant to be. And we realize that we can't. That's what I feel. We can't make things happen unless they're meant to unfold. And in other traditions I've studied, they say, just let things evolve naturally. And so I've just found myself, what's fabulous about it is I relax more and more and more in my life. And I feel like the more I relax, things happen, but I don't have to do a lot as much as I just grew up in this culture thinking you make things happen. Each one does, but I feel it's all different now. I just feel like it's happening, and the best I can do is relax and let go and be present. And I even experienced at my mom's passing when she was 98. I was supposed to be with her at her passing, but just me and her. And all the other relatives who were all gathered around, they all left, my sister included. Everyone left the house. And I was like, why did everyone go? Because I think she's going to be passing any moment. And it just turned out that I was there with my mom at her passing. And then I realized later that was a powerful experience to show me that it's all set up. Somehow it's all set up where we're supposed to be and when.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. So beautiful. And it's interesting, this seems to be the spontaneous theme of this particular satsang, but who's doing the doing? I want to comment on what you said, what you just shared. That is so, so true. And Ma was the absolute manifestation of this spontaneity of being and of living. We talked about how she always used this word khayal, which means it almost means like a whim in common usage in Hindi. But she used it to mean this divine will that moved her, because she had no motivation, she had no desire, she had no need. She was in a constant state of perfect self-sufficiency, self with a capital S. And so she was moved by what she called khayal, which was simply the will of God. She said, it's this body's khayal that she should be in Delhi. It meant that God was willing her to be in Delhi. And people found that if they went with Ma's khayal, everything spontaneously unfolded. And if someone like Bolnad, her husband, opposed that and said, no, Ma, we can't go there, he eventually learned, boy, things would, Ma was, he wasn't punished by Ma or anything, but things just did not go well. He opposed Ma's khayal. It was like, whoa, everything fell apart. So it is true, this more and more of a surrender. Ma said, if we truly realize, this is Ma's words, she said, if we truly realize that God is making everything happen, again, we're going back to who's being the doer, but she said that everything is happening by God's will. If we truly realize that in our life, then we are totally at ease at every moment as we're experiencing. And we found with Ma, okay, Ma never did anything. That's really true. She was not the doer. She would never instigate projects. She would never do this. You know, some saints do this. They have these missions and they start missions, and it's good. That's also God's will. But Ma's way was be in complete ease, and everything spontaneously unfolded around her. When we were traveling with her, everyone experienced, there would be like 20 so-called coincidences in a day before we realized, oh, Ma's making all this happen. We're supposed to move this way. And if we tried to do our own will, it would all, you know, we run into brick walls. So the spontaneity of letting things unfold in their natural way is really the way. But again, a paradox, another paradox. Because we have people saying, oh, I just let everything happen, and they just, you know, lie there like a couch potato. And that doesn't work either. Think of what Ma said in the end of Pragya's readings. Those people who have a disciplined, orderly life and try to follow the instructions of their guru will proceed without fail.
Yeah.
So we have this paradox. Nothing's happening. Who's the doer? We haven't even figured that out yet. We're supposed to be totally resigned, totally letting things happen. But the paradox, there is something we are supposed to do. In our limited power and our limited limited way understanding, we have to do sadhana. There is a certain part required of this. So Ma always is very clear about stressing that we have to have a daily practice, a disciplined life, an orderly life, trying to keep and this wonderful thing. She says the solution to everything is trying to remember God at all times. That is the core problem with the human existence and its misery that we experience is we've forgotten God. And how do you remember God? God is so vast. But when we remember some form, Ma says, find some way of remembering God. She always says the best is the mantra, the name of God that we've been given or that we've chosen. But if we try throughout the day just to stop, and what is remembering God? It's stopping just being in this little obsessive small circle of thoughts of little me, little me, little me, my life, my desires, my needs, breaking out of that and just stopping and looking at the trees and thinking of God's presence. God created all of this.
God is all this.
God is all of this.
You always tell me.
I know, God is manifesting as all this. Someone once asked me, I was with my friend Haridas and we were stuck in traffic. So he was frustrated. He said, okay, would you say that Ma caused this traffic jam? I would say, no. I said Ma is appearing as this traffic jam. So the more that we remember God, we break out of this. And just let's look at this right now. When Ma says, who are the truly wealthy? Those who are possessed of the supreme treasure. They alone are really rich and live in abundance. Poor and destitute must be called that person in whose heart the remembrance of God abides not. To depend solely on Him is a human's one and only duty. So Ma keeps stressing this. We remember God in any way we can. And that because Ma is our true self, that great, unlimited, unbounded consciousness. And the more we remember Ma, the more we remember our Atma, the more we remember the name of God, it breaks us out of the small little individual ego that we've locked ourselves into. I'm just a body, I'm just this small person. And remember God, then we start to experience the unity of life, which is the purpose of spiritual life. Yeah, so thanks for sharing that, Carla. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share?
Chris has raised his hand.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I have some reflections on what you're talking about. I'm just completely ignorant, so not really anything I could say, but it just seems to me, what I wonder is, we keep hearing that reality is non-dual, but then we keep relating to it in a dualistic way. So to me, that would seem like there's part of the confusion right there, in that from the dualistic point of view, life is a dream. And so if we dream, we find a pot of gold, we feel happy, but then we wake up, we can't spend it. So who's the doer? No one found the gold. It never actually happened, and yet we experienced it. There's the play, there's the lila. If we dream we're swimming in the ocean, when we wake up, we don't have to towel off and dry off. We're not wet from swimming. There is no doer. No one was actually swimming, and yet we experienced it. We're in the water, there's the dolphins jumping around, the sunshine sparkling, glittering off the surface of the waves. So on the one hand, no one's doing anything. On the other hand, we're experiencing it. So there's the lila, there's the play. Those are some of the foolish thoughts that are occurring to me as I hear this.
They're far from foolish. They're very profound. It brings up a really good point. Thank you for sharing that. Which it can be confusing. This idea of the Advaitic approach, the Vedantic approach of non-duality, like Ramana Maharshi was the embodiment of that, where you just go directly into consciousness. You don't even admit duality. You say everything is this is a dream, this is a dream, this is a dream. Neti neti, they call it. And then the more dualistic approach of devotion. They seem to be contradictory, but they're really, really not. And Ma is a perfect example of that. If you really study Ma's teachings, as we have over the years, collected them, studied them, contemplated them, you see that she uncompromisingly speaks from a vantage point of absolute non-duality. She will not admit duality. She says, for this body, the idea of a second cannot exist. There's only the one in everything. There's only non-duality. She speaks from that level. But then when she recommends a sadhana, she almost always recommends the devotional path. She says, remember God. Take the name of God. She'll tell it to anybody literally from a prostitute to visitor. She would always say, Mother, take the name of God. To Indira Gandhi, the head of India, Mother, take the name of God. She manifested this. And so the saints have told us that they lead to the same place. They lead to the same place. If we look on God as not separate from us, as a part of us, but in one sense, we are worshiping God. We are remembering God. We are saying the name of God. We're feeling devotion to God. If we do that truly, the idea is we're taking our small self and making it smaller and smaller and making God more real. And God becomes more real in our life. And simultaneously, the smaller self becomes more transparent and less important. And the reality becomes God. And ultimately that ends and only God is there and we realize we're one with God. But from my observation of a long life of being in this spiritual path for over 50 years, observing a lot of people come and go, the saints have always said the devotional way is safer and less intrusive from the ego. That, like Sri Ramakrishna said, the ego, it's hard to get rid of the ego, but at least make that rascal a devotee. say, I'm a devotee of God. At least that I is safe. Now, I have observed, really just in the past 10 or 15 years, especially in the West, this movement of so-called Neo-Vedanta, where they say, you already realize, you don't have to do anything. We know personal experience of someone who left a true teacher in a true way to take up this, I don't need to do anything. You don't need to have any sadhana because you are already realized. And that is a misdiagnosis of the illness. And a real teacher would not say that because a real teacher sees the problem. As Ma emphatically says, you are that. Ramana Maharshi says that also, you are that. But the problem is we have what Ma uses a Sanskrit term, avarana, a curtain of ignorance, keeping us from that inner truth that we are that. And so then she teaches us how to pierce that. And she goes into detailed description of what that avarana is made from, the untrained mind, the untamed mind, the constant desires, vasanas, memories, samskaras, all these things vacillating within us like crazy. That's what's causing that avarana. And even Patanjali talks about it. The author of the Yoga Sutras several thousand, 2,000 years ago. I don't even know his exact date. He talks about the stilling of the vasanas in the mind and the chitta. So these two paths are both valid paths, but the real Vedanta path has a sadhana, and it's a very intense, very difficult sadhana that very few people are really qualified to do. But devotion leads to the same place, and seems to start, like they say, it starts with two, it ends in one, and it's more accessible to the modern mind, and I think especially to the Western mind, because the whole Western ethos, the whole Western culture, and our mind is so egotistical. It's based on separation. The Eastern countries, I've lived in the East many years, and the Eastern countries have this perception of the unity of life more. In the West, we know we have our little car, we have our little apartment, we have our little life. We live in this little man-made bubble of separation.
It's a nice little bubble.
Yeah, it could be a very comfortable bubble in the West. So we might start telling people, you are God. That Western ego loves it. Oh yeah, I'm God. I don't have to worship God. I am God. So it's a lot of problems created there. So I'm not saying that the Vedantic path is wrong by any means, but I do say the Neo-Vedantic path is false. To say you already realize is to say an absolute truth, mistake an absolute truth for a relative truth. We already realized. Someone came to Ramana Maharshi once and said, "Oh Bhagavan, you are at the top of the mountain and we are at the bottom of the mountain. How do we get up to where you are?" And he smiled and said, "By completely abandoning this idea that I am at the top and you are at the bottom." And he talked about how you are the self. He was uncompromising, but he also gave a very strict regimen of meditation, of how to meditate with this who am I concept and going in. He didn't say you already realize you don't have to do anything. And his people who followed his path got there. He had so many wonderful illumined disciples. So we have to be practical at all times. We can't mistake these absolute truths, which we should contemplate on. We are realized. The only reason we think we're not is because we've bound ourselves with these misconceptions and we have an uncontrolled mind. But we can just meditate on that, and that helps us too to realize that absolute consciousness of truth is not somewhere in a heaven we have to die and go to. It is right here, right now. The self is perfect always, right behind us. And we have to just stop and calm the mind and go through that curtain by relaxing into the truth. Again, the spontaneity, relaxing into the truth. So it brings it all into the present moment, which is the only place it can be. It can't be something in the future that doesn't exist. So yeah, that kind of going on and on about this. Do you see my point? Your observations are very good, and it does look like there's a conflict there, but those two paths ultimately are the same. Does that make any sense? Please.
I'd like to just, first of all, that was great.
Okay.
Second of all, I think, of course, it's true, we are God, but that's a very high state. It's just a very high state. So an egotist and a simpleton like me is better to stick that I'm a child of God, and that state will unfold.
Very nicely put. Yeah, true. Very true. Does that help, Chris? Or do you have any other kind of feelings, thoughts from them?
That's beautiful. I really appreciate what you said.
And Jacques just raised his hand.
It's like you said, we are always in the belly of the mother, like a child in the mother. We are always in the mother. We have a father, but we don't know where is the father. The nirguna aspect of my father when I was the belly in my mother. What is my reality is the mother reality. And when I look the world around, like you said before, it's all the mother. I'm always in the belly of the mother, and I have to remind myself when I'm lost into what is the sense of my life and I'm in my head, to remember that I'm always in the belly of the mother. And this is where she can take care of me, when I can surrender to her, because it's always the only reality. The father is very far away. And at the same time, the father is like it was saying in the text, the mother is the saguna aspect and the father is the nirguna aspect. It's always one, but we live all the time in the belly of the mother, and we are little children where we can go to the kingdom of God when we come back to this little child. That's
What
my
a
idea
beautiful
about that.
observation, Jack. Wow, that was fantastic. But beautiful, beautiful. That's what's so great about sharing these. When we can help each other understand these amazing concepts. That is so beautiful, and it is true. It's said many times that the entire manifestation of this universe is just the womb of the Divine Mother. She's making this whole creation just so she can gestate all these little souls within her womb to absolute perfection.
Yeah.
So it is true. We all are in her womb, and that's a good concept too. We think this great concept of non-duality is the Nirguna Father, which we're eventually find out. But it's true. Right now, we're in the womb of the mother, just slowly evolving and being, and we're safe. We're safe in the womb of the mother. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why I say, why want to break out and try to jump into the Father where you don't know the way? The mother will take you there. If we surrender to the mother, we just realize, I love that we're in the belly of the mother. It's really beautiful, and we're safe there, and we take refuge in the mother, remember her, and surrender to her. And like we said, like in the first reading, Ma said, the door will open from the inside to those who are surrendered. So if we're surrendered to the mother and safe in her memory and her remembrance, she'll open the door to the Father. You know, she really will. That's wonderful.
Mangalanandaji, we only have 5 more minutes, but I just wanted to make sure everyone in the chat saw that Molly posted a picture of Sita Ramdas Omkarnath with Ma holding hands
Oh wow! Is there a way to?
in the chat, and I was able to click on it and save it to my desktop.
Great.
Really
Great.
a
We'll definitely do
beautiful
that.
picture. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, Molly. And is there a way we can display it on the screen in any way?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I can.
Wait, let's see. I've got it on
But
my screen. Are people seeing
everyone
that?
can find it.
Oh,
I can
Molly,
maybe share my screen. Just a second. Hold on. I can think maybe.
Where did you find it, Molly?
It was on Facebook. I think Carol Grayson may have posted it.
Okay. I missed it. I'm just blown away by it. It's so beautiful.
I'm gonna try to share my screen.
at
I think I
that.
can show it. I think I can do it. Just a second. Hold on.
It's incredible. Look at them.
I'm trying to get back to where I was.
Ma in the form of Facebook, says Ramani. Amazing.
it's just a beautiful picture of Ma too.
Yeah.
Just her.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get back. So I'm sorry. I've lost the. I have so much trouble navigating this computer. I'm trying to get back to the where I was so I can then share my screen and show you the photo online.
I showed it, Mangalanandaji.
Oh, you saw it. Everyone saw it.
I showed it to everyone. Did everyone see it? I can.
Good. Okay. Good. Because
Thank you, Saraswati. It's beautiful. But you can save it to your screen right now. If you click on Molly's sharing photo, it might give you a chance.
Get back to
There's a little icon to save to your desktop.
No, that'll just open this stupid thing. Oh,
I couldn't find the other one, but there's another beautiful picture where Ma is touching his head.
Oh.
I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Wow.
We're so blessed to have the saints and to have the interaction with the saints. I met many living saints in India in my years. I make a point of it, and they are the witnesses of God's reality. You know, one person I met said, God will never leave himself without a witness in every generation. So there'll always be these people who are successful in their spiritual life, who've broken through that avarana and are one with God, and they're the lights of the world. And we're so fortunate to have their company, and that's why it's good to read the lives of the saints, to read their sayings, to read what Ma said. You know, that's the only way we can be led through this dark world. They have light, and we can walk in their light. So we're fortunate for that. Well, I think we've is our time up? Does anybody else have anything they want to share? I lost the
gallery.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything else they want to share? Everybody's totally satiated and happy. Janet, please.
Actually, I just wanted to say to Chris, in my own practice, you know, for me, in the way that I practice, and it's surrender and inquiry, actually. So it would be okay to say, who is the one that's feeling wet, that felt wet, and who am I that observed that? And, and it does, so just that leads to surrender.
Well, that's interesting. So it goes around and around.
That's a very good point, Janet, because I know you and David have been involved with Ramana Maharshi for so many years, and now kind of fit my into it. That's a very good point. It is true in our spiritual life these days. We can be very eclectic. We should have a basic practice that we do, but we can take different things and put them in our practice. I do the same thing. It's very true. If you just do that who am I thing and you kind of just get that feeling of who am I try to get to that point before I even start the japa of the mantra. Where you get to the point where you're just feeling yourself as consciousness, and then you start the mantra from there and kind of keep yourself in that. The self.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jenny, please.
So Ma instructed, I remember reading, maybe it was on Facebook, but I remember Ma saying to someone, you should be asking yourself who you are. I'm sure you've seen that quote. And she, with great insistence. Well, maybe that's not. Do you know? Nocher? He used to be an acharya around Tiruvannamalai, and now he's a swami. But he's a YouTuber. He gives talks. He's been around for many, many years. And he was saying, we were watching the other day, and he was saying something about, that when you say you're doing a sadhana, that just reinforces the ego. So there's that point, right? You're doing the sadhana, and that the path of devotion, just like you said, Acharya, is much safer. So he's a great exponent of Bhagwan's teachings, but he himself is saying the path of devotion is much more appropriate for most of us. But he also, I don't think you can, at the end of the day, it's one, right?
It's according to temperament also. Ma
Yes,
definitely taught, I know some people that Ma instructed them to go the Vedantic way, and only the Vedantic way, and really do the self-inquiry. And Bhagavan's, Ramana Maharshi's path of self-inquiry is the most, very direct. I mean, it is a very valid path, there's no question about it. But also, he saw many things. One of the most beautiful writings on japa I've ever seen are his words in one of his, David Gottman's books. He has a whole chapter on japa that's just beautiful.
And didn't he worship Arunachala?
Yeah, he worshipped Arunachala as Shiva and as the Guru. He had the Sri Yantra installed in the mother's samadhi also. So again, these things are interchangeable. You can work through both of them. It's good to have a particular line that you go through, but you can add eclectic things if you find it helps your sadhana. And I find self-inquiry and japa are very compatible. Yeah, thanks, Janet. Anybody else have any questions, anything you want to share? I wonder why I've lost all the people here on this.
Acharya ji, I'm just going to share one little thing. I've had the great fortune of studying Atma Bodha lately, and in it, Adi Shankara really talks about the prerequisites for the yoni, and in it, they talk not only about devotion but also service. That karma yoga, like that, there has to be lifetimes and lifetimes. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, here's the path of the yoni, but hey, that's pretty hard. You might want to try karma yoga or bhakti yoga, right? And even in that Atma Bodha, they talk about just that service in the form of surrender, that every action becomes, to Ma, or that is the link. You have to have many lifetimes of that, even to get to the ability to start the yoni path. So I don't know, it's just so interesting and so inconceivable in so many ways, right? So, Jema.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a beautiful point.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point.
Wow.
Well, Ramana Maharshi talked about, how even to get to that point of self-inquiry takes lifetimes of maturity. That's a very mature path. Yeah, and bhakti is a good, better starting path, and also, but also it goes. They're complete in itself. Now that brings up a good point. Ma very often stressed that all the different yogas have to be unified. That you will have an emphasis on one. But I'm sure you can remember the different readings you've done where Ma says, to go to a temple, you have to have karma to walk. You have to have devotion to believe in it. There's always an interaction. She says you concentrate on one, but there'll be interaction. And she does say that you definitely have to have selfless service to lessen the ego, because the karma yoga, the idea of serving others, serving God through others, is very, very helpful. It really helps lessen the ego some, because we're so caught up in our own lives and our own sustenance and things and our own use of people for our own we look at a person and we say, what can I get out of them? How can they help me? How can they get me a job? Blah blah blah. What can they do for me? And we're doing service. You're just seeing them as God and serving them. It's a total 180-degree concept of perception in the person. Very good for spiritual life. So yeah, the paths blend very much, and Ma talked about that in other words, like bhakti yoga is not just singing and dancing and jumping around and eating prasad. You also have to sit down and take up Raja yoga by saying the name of God with devotion to get inwardly communing with God. So they're interchangeable, and we should borrow from all the different yogas to make an eclectic blend of our own sadhana. Yeah. Okay, well, do we have any other questions? Let's see. If not, we'll go ahead and let everybody go. I think this has been a very, very helpful satsang, because we've been inspired by Ma's sayings, and we've had very excellent sharings and questions and practical things. I think for anything to be worthwhile, it has to be practical. If it's all just theoretical, what use is it? But we've talked about practically how to apply ourselves. Very good. So we'll be Pragya, do you have any announcements from the ashram?
Oh, yes, thanks. Well, the main thing is, and maybe Saraswati, maybe you could put the ashram website in the chat, is that the rest of our schedule for July, August, September, October are on there. And we have some special events coming up. We're going to have on September 13th and 14th, we're going to have a Zoom retreat with Swami Guru Sharan. So online, across the country, wherever you are, you can tune in, and it should be very beautiful. Then September 30th, October 1st and 2nd, we're going to have a 2 full days of Durga Puja here at our house, at our temple, at Ma's temple here, as well as we'll have it online. And then what's another special? Well, in January, Ramani's taking people to Masharanam to do a 10-day retreat with Swamiji, and those dates are January. Tell us, Ramani, again.
January 19th through the 29th. So people will probably have to leave sometime around the 17th and then come back home sometime around the 30th.
And by coincidence, I will also be there in India at Masharanam at that time. I was talking to Swami Guru Sharan, just a couple of days ago, and he said, "Yeah, I want you to talk some of that too." So I'll be talking some of that retreat also. So come to Masharanam. Masharanam is an amazingly beautiful.
Start dreaming about it, everyone.
Yeah, rural ashram in central India, dedicated totally to Ma and universality. A beautiful Ma temple, where it's a Devi Shakti temple where all the women saints from all religions are around the walls, and it's just absolutely an amazing place to be. So, a good time to come will be this January. Yeah, it'll be a wonderful time. Good. Anything else? Well, I know we've been talking, Pragya and I have been talking, all of us at the ashram have been talking month after month about how we're going to have our in-person Madhu Satsang this year. And due to so many circumstances, it's not going to happen, evidently. we were going to bring Swami Gurushodan back, but with the incredible chaos of the immigration situation at this point, we decided to be dangerous for him. He could end up in some South American jungle somewhere, so we're not going to bring him over. So we decided not to have the Mati Satsang in person at this time. We're going to keep working on it because it was so wonderful last September when we were able to get together in person. And it was really beneficial. So we want to do it again, but it's up in the air now. Maybe in the spring, we're thinking. We'll see. Yeah. So we'll keep everyone posted on that. But if they were making plans for this fall, which we originally were told people about, that is unfortunately not happening now. Okay. But instead, come in January to India and be there with us. Okay. Yeah, and tune into that online thing with Swamiji. That'll be wonderful. That'll be a wonderful time also. Okay, everyone. Good to see everyone's face, and we will meet again on the third Sunday of next month, or before that, if you tune into Pragya's mini offering she's having from the ashram. And hang in there. In these crazy times, remember God, remember Ma is with us. We're, as Sitaram Das said, we're Ma's darling children. Why should we cry? This terrible times, why should we cry? Ma's with us.
Jai Ma, darlings.
Jai Ma.
All fellow darlings.
Ma.
Jai Ma.
Hey, Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Arpita's
Jai
right
Ma.
there.
Jai Ma, everyone.
Jai Ma.
Arpita.
Mama, Jai Ma.
Oh.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Beautiful little flowers there.
Yeah.
Jai Ma, everyone. Take care.
Jai Ma.